Breaking news, internet, grab your popcorn, because the meltdown you're about to witness makes reality TV look like a church picnic. Picture this: Arionne, the self-proclaimed original storyline of Love and Marriage Huntsville, just found out she's been officially banned by the one and only Carlos King, and let's just say her reaction was less graceful. Queen and more Wi-Fi signal, possessed by pure chaos. How do you go from calling yourself the real main character to being blacklisted faster than a spam account in the DMZ? What did she say? What did she do? And why does the internet feel like it just got front row seats to the world's most public nervous breakdown? Now, before you think this is just another petty Instagram live rant, oh no. This one has layers. Betrayal, alleged backroom bans, cryptic texts, deleted posts that somehow never stay deleted, and one producer who apparently said, "Not on my network." Is this about protecting the brand or silencing the chaos? Did Melody pull strings behind the scenes? Or is Carlos King secretly the hero we didn't know we needed? Either way, Arionne's gone full nuclear, and the fallout is louder than Martel's excuses. Buckle up, because this isn't just teats, a boiling pot spilling over. And I've got the receipts, the rumors, and the drama you won't find anywhere else. When the cameras stopped rolling and the production lights dimmed, something much louder began echoing across the internet. Arionne's meltdown wasn't a whisper in the dark corners of gossip blogs. It was an explosion that turned the entire Huntsville fandom into a virtual courtroom. Everyone had an opinion, everyone had receipts, and everyone swore they knew the real story. The rumor mill churned faster than ever when whispers started spreading that Carlos King had officially blacklisted Arionne from ever appearing on the show. For someone who had built her entire persona around being the chaos that fuels reality television, being shut out was like being told the circus had packed up and left without her. But what really set the internet ablaze was not the ban itself, was how brutally it was done. Anonymous production insiders claimed that the decision wasn't discussed, debated, or delayed. It was a swift, cold cut. One source allegedly said the producers viewed Arionne as a ticking time bomb. The kind that didn't just go off for ratings, but took the whole set down with it. And just like that, the woman who called herself the heart of Huntsville's drama was told she wasn't even background noise. Within hours of finding out, Arionne went live, shaking, pacing, and unleashing a stream of accusations that blurred the line between rage and heartbreak. She accused Carlos of being a coward hiding behind contracts and called out Martel for feeding her false hope. The way she told it, the producers had promised her redemption, that her moment to rewrite her story was coming. But instead of a seat at the table, she got a public eviction notice. Viewers who tuned in couldn't look away. Her voice cracked, her words tumbled over each other, and her anger was almost theatrical in its delivery. Some people said it felt like watching someone's soul being dismantled in real time, while others swore it was just another performance from a woman addicted to attention. But there was something undeniably human about the rawness. You could see the pain behind the lashes, the humiliation behind the fury. And as her live rants multiplied, so did the speculation. Fans began claiming she had secret recordings, text messages, and behind-the-scenes footage that could expose the hypocrisy of the show's polished image. Fake screenshots started circulating in group chats, showing alleged demos between Arionne and unnamed producers, begging her to stay quiet. None of it was verified, but truth rarely mattered in the court of public opinion. Every blurry screenshot was treated like gospel. Every voice note like evidence in a trial the audience didn't even know they were part of. Meanwhile, Carlos King was silent. Not a tweet, not a statement, not even a cryptic emoji. His silence only made the internet more restless. Theories grew like weeds. Some claimed Melody Cherie had quietly pushed for the ban to protect her storyline. Others swore that network executives had ordered the move after a leaked clip showed Arionne threatening to expose confidential filming details. Whether any of it was true became irrelevant, because what mattered was the spectacle. Arionne's meltdown had become the season's biggest storyline without a single frame of footage. She didn't need a contract. She had Wi-Fi. The irony was delicious and cruel. The show that had rejected her was now trending because of her, and the woman once dismissed as a side character was now controlling the narrative, even if it was through chaos. But as the comments flooded in, the tone shifted. What started as entertainment began to feel uncomfortable. People who had once laughed at her antics now wrote that she seemed unwell, spiraling, lost in her own need to prove something that no one was asking for anymore. Her desperation had become visible, her pain too public to mock. But Arionne didn't stop. Each night she went live again, more unfiltered, more volatile. Convinced she was reclaiming her power when in reality she was broadcasting her downfall. Rumors started emerging that sponsors associated with the show were pulling back from any storyline involving her name. The producers, meanwhile, tightened their hold on the narrative, quietly instructing cast members to avoid mentioning her at all. It was as if she was being erased in real time, her relevance dissolving with every deleted live. And yet, that erasure only fueled her defiance. She started hinting at exposing others, teasing names, dangling secrets like bait, in front of thousands of watchers waiting for the next explosion. The more she spoke, the more trapped she became in the performance. Fame, once her lifeline, was now her prison. And every word she uttered was another bar closing in around her. The night after her final live stream cut off abruptly, the internet went into overdrive trying to decode what had happened behind the scenes. Screenshots began circulating, claiming Arionne's phone had been temporarily seized by a production assistant after she stormed into a closed-door meeting demanding answers. Anonymous insiders told gossip pages that she had shown up at a filming location uninvited, dressed for the cameras and ready to confront Martell in front of everyone. The crew allegedly froze as she shouted that she had been promised a chance to tell her truth and that the show was nothing without her. Within hours, a blurry clip appeared online showing what looked like Arionne being escorted out of the parking lot, her voice echoing through the night as she yelled that carlosking had destroyed her career. Fans dissected the clip frame by frame, arguing about whether it was real or staged, but the damage was done. The once self-proclaimed real storyline of Huntsville was now trending under hashtags accusing her of trespassing, manipulation, and obsession. Still, there was a strange fascination that kept people hooked. Every time someone declared her finished, she came back louder. That resilience, however chaotic, made her unpredictable. And unpredictability is the currency of internet fame. Within a few days, Arionne's followers had doubled. Some were loyal supporters convinced she was being silenced by powerful figures in reality TV, while others were hate watchers addicted to her implosion. She leaned into the attention, releasing what she called her Truth Series, a string of late-night rants and supposed receipts that promised to expose everyone from producers to ex-castmates. The clips were chaotic, jumpy, and sometimes incoherent, but they went viral anyway. One moment she was crying about betrayal. The next, she was laughing and promising to burn it all down. Fake audio leaks appeared claiming to feature Martell admitting he had set her up. And although no one could verify the voice, the clip alone sent fans spiraling into speculation. Forums lit up with theories that carlosking had orchestrated a cover-up, that Melody was pulling strings to keep her rival off-screen, and that Arionne had been used as bait to drive online engagement. Every hour brought a new exclusive from gossip channels claiming inside knowledge. A self-proclaimed industry source even claimed that Arionne had secretly filmed private conversations between cast members and was threatening to release them. Others said she was in talks to sell her side of the story to a rival network for a spin-off titled Unfiltered, The Real Side of Huntsville. None of it was confirmed, but the rumors worked like lighter fluid, keeping her name burning in the algorithm. What made the story explode further was a leaked email chain, supposedly from within the network's legal department, discussing how to handle Arionne's outbursts. The email, clearly faked, suggested the network was preparing to sue her for defamation and contract violations. Even though it was obviously doctored, the fans believed it because it fit the narrative too perfectly. Arionne herself reposted it with captions like, "I told y'all, the truth scares them." Every repost added fuel to the fire. Soon, YouTube commentators, TikTok gossip accounts, and Twitter threads were all spinning different versions of the same saga. Some claimed Carlos had blackballed her because she refused to play by the producer's script. Others said he feared she'd expose how staged the show really was. One particularly viral video accused him of paying bloggers to discredit her. An allegation that gained millions of views despite having no evidence at all. The scandal had taken on a life of its own, a digital monster feeding on exaggeration and half-truths. Meanwhile, Arionne started posting cryptic photos, luxury bags, hotel rooms, and captions like "the calm before the storm," which only made people more obsessed. Commenters began theorizing that she was about to drop something massive. Maybe even real proof that could bring the show to its knees. But as the suspense grew, so did the backlash. Former supporters began noticing inconsistencies in her claims, pointing out that her so-called evidence was recycled or outdated. She clapped back with venom, calling them fake fans and accusing everyone of wanting her downfall. The tone of her lives shifted from confident to desperate, her voice cracking as she repeated that she was the victim of a system built to exploit women like her. Even then, she couldn't stop performing. Every outburst became another viral moment, every tear another soundbite. And as she stood in front of her phone night after night, her reflection glowing in the dim light, it was clear that the lines between revenge, fame, and self-destruction had completely vanished. By the next week, the chaos Arionne had unleashed was beginning to turn inward. What had started as a wave of attention now felt like an undertow pulling her down with it. Her name filled gossip timelines, but the tone had changed from fascination to fatigue. People who once tuned in for her late-night outbursts now joked that she was recycling the same accusations and running out of energy. She tried to reclaim momentum by teasing that she had final proof of betrayal and was about to expose everyone once and for all. The countdowns she posted drew tens of thousands of viewers. Yet when the live finally began, she offered nothing new. Just a rambling story about being used and lied to. The disappointment hit fast. Comments flooded in, calling her dramatic, unstable, and desperate for relevance. That reaction seemed to break something in her. For the first time, she appeared defeated, staring into the screen in silence before whispering that she was done fighting. It was a rare pause, quickly erased the next day when she returned, insisting she had been hacked and promising an even bigger reveal. The cycle repeated until people stopped believing she had anything left to show. Behind the scenes, producers were reportedly relieved. Their quiet strategy of saying nothing had worked. By refusing to respond, they let her rage burn itself out. Carlos King's team moved forward, refocusing promotion on new cast members and fresh storylines. While Arionne found herself increasingly isolated, friends who once appeared in her videos began keeping their distance, unwilling to be pulled into the drama. Her attempts to rebuild alliances failed as rumors surfaced that sponsors and brands had blacklisted her name. The irony was sharp. The woman who had fought for visibility had made herself untouchable. Even Martel, whose connection to her had once defined his on-screen narrative, stopped acknowledging her publicly. Sources close to the production claimed he had been warned that any mention of her could risk his own position on the show. That silence cut deeper than any online insult. She had believed that no one could erase her story. Yet now she was being erased piece by piece until all that remained were old clips circulating as internet nostalgia. Viewers who revisited those moments saw not a villain, but a woman trapped in the echo of her own ambition. The controversy that had once felt explosive now seemed sad, almost inevitable. Like a lesson written in real time about how fame devours those who chase it too hard. By the time the network announced its next season lineup without a single reference to her name, even her most loyal defenders admitted this saga was over. The same algorithm that had made her viral had quietly moved on. For Arionne, the silence that followed was heavier than any hate comment. She had spent years believing that being loud meant being seen, that if she could keep people talking, she could stay powerful. But the internet's attention span is merciless. One week you are trending, the next you are a cautionary tale whispered in threads about what not to do. Her downfall wasn't caused by one decision or one producer's choice. It was the accumulation of every moment she let anger and ego outshine reason. She had mistaken exposure for success and outrage for influence. When the final light faded, she stood exactly where she had started, alone with a phone, staring into a reflection that no longer gave her fame, but only reminded her of what she had lost. So after all that chaos, heartbreak, and digital warfare, here's the question everyone needs to ask themselves. What does Arionne's meltdown really teach us about the world we can't stop watching? We crave drama, we feed on scandal, but at what point does entertainment turn into self-destruction? Maybe Arionne wanted fame so badly she forgot that the internet doesn't love anyone for long. Maybe the producers played the game better than she did. Or maybe, just maybe, this is proof that not every storyline deserves a comeback. What's certain is that this saga is far from over, because fame never truly dies, just reloads. So tell me what you think. Was Arionne betrayed by a system that used her and threw her away? Or did she sabotage herself with her own obsession to be seen? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this conversation is about to get real. Make sure to hit that like button if you love the truth unfiltered. Subscribe for more deep dives into the scandals they don't want you to talk about. And turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story that'll have the internet shaking. The drama's not done. It's just getting started.